Hi, I'm going to cover off an unbelievable 30 tips in only 20 minutes. So let's not waste any time and get right into it. Let's now look at some quick tips on how to escape snookers using 1, 2 and 3 cushions. First up, we'll look at 1 cushion. We're snookered on the red ball here. And most of the time, you'll come around here and you'll look and try and judge the angle to hit the red ball. When you've got a shot like this, it's much easier to go around to where the camera is, look at the red ball, and work out where you would hit the red ball to contact the cue ball. What would it be, about there possibly? About there? Now, it's the same angle if you hit the cue ball in there. Just like that. Next up, we'll look at a 2 cushion escape using the parallel shift system. It's really easy. Find the midpoint between the cue ball and the object ball that you're snookered on, which is about there. You point that point at the pocket. It's really important. Keep that angle with your cue, lift it, shift it to the cue ball, and if you've done that properly, then you should be able to hit the object ball. Okay, now for the 3 cushion escape, which is really cool. Look at your object ball and place a marker towards the center of the cushion. Now we want to transfer that angle to the cue ball. That's quite a distance away, so we have to be quite precise with this. Let's see if it's worked. Take that down there. This is where we want to hit, I think. Please let me hit it. Some players drop their back elbow when they play a screw or draw shot. So they play the shot like this, they push the cue through, and their elbow comes down like that. What that does is it pushes your cue up in the air, which is completely wrong for a screwback shot, but it might be right for a topspin shot. Yeah, I like it. If you've got a shot that's close to the pocket and you want to move the cue ball any kind of distance, for example, we want to pot this one, we want to get the cue ball down here to play on that one in the middle. The worst thing that you can do is play with topspin. And you might automatically assume that you would play this with topspin because you want the cue ball to follow through and come down here. But because it's so close to the cushion, after it contacts the cushion, the cue ball is going to still be rotating forward, and it means it'll stop quite close to the cushion. What to do instead is hit the cue ball about 6 o'clock. Now you don't want to hit it too hard because it means that you will generate screw or draw off that shot. But you want to hit it at a good pace, hit below center cue ball, and it should spring out from the cushion. If you don't feel comfortable putting bottom on the cue ball or it doesn't work for you positional wise, then you can also play it with side spin. I'm going to hit this one about 3 o'clock and it should mean that the cue ball springs out. Okay, I'm going to show you a couple of things you need to bear in mind when you're playing off a cushion or rail. What you need to remember is that these are rubber, they're soft, you can indent them. This means that when you hit the cue ball, it is slightly indenting it. That means that it's not going to spring out exactly at the angle that you put it on, especially if you hit it quite hard. So what I'll do here is I've put a nice little rock right in the center of my cushion. If I play this nice and soft, the angle that the cue ball goes on, it should come off at roughly the same angle, which it did. Now, if I hit that harder, let's remember this point here, I hit about here. If I hit that harder, then it is going to square up more. So you see, I hit there on about the 17th go. So squaring up, the harder you hit it. Also, what you need to bear in mind is that it squares up more off the second cushion. So let's play this first shot again, where we hit it quite soft. We ended up hitting about here. That was coming from this angle. Now, in theory, it should hit here and then go off at the same angle, which would take it to about there. But let's see where it goes after the second cushion. Nowhere near it. So it squares up the harder you hit it, it squares up a lot of the second cushion, and the other time it also squares up is the wider the angle. So we're playing this at quite a narrow angle here. If I give myself a wider angle, now in theory I should be hitting way down the cushion, but if I hit it harder, look at that, I didn't even reach the pocket. So angle, speed, second cushion, bear all those things in mind. If you're just starting out this game, or you're a beginner and you're looking to improve, then the best practice advice that I could give you is to do solo practice. I know a lot of people will go down to the pub or club with their friends and play, and that's great, you will get better that way. But if you think about it, you're only playing every other shot. You're not getting every shot of the table, so it's going to take you twice as long to get to the same position if you did solo practice. Now, I still do solo practice. If I'm feeling a little bit nervous, or if I'm not playing well, then I put all the balls together in a triangle, I smash them up, and I just try and pot anything that I can see. Now, it gets your eye in, it gets a feel for the game. It is the best way to practice. This is the second video that I've done like this, and I will do another. But I'm going to base it on the tips from you guys. So if you've got anything that you would like to share with all other viewers, then pop it in the comments below. It doesn't have to be amazing, it doesn't even have to be rare. As long as it's a decent tip, pop it in the comments, and I will cover it in the next video and give you a shout out on that video. So drop me a comment. I want to talk to you about the importance that you play the cue ball onto the cushion, and especially when you add side spin into the mix. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to aim the cue ball at this piece of chalk. Now that is roughly about a 45-degree angle here. Now if I play it plain ball, you can see it's hit that chalk there, and it hits this chalk here. Now if I put right hand spin on this, you would expect it's going to take a right hand spin off of this cushion, which will mean it hits further down the cushion in the chalk, but also off this cushion it has right hand spin in it, so you would expect it to widen that angle out. But something different happens on this shot. So let's play it with a right hand spin, and look at that, it's actually almost narrowed off of there, and that's because of this position that you're playing it from. This is about 45 degrees. Anything above 45 degrees and your running side, in this instance right hand side, will narrow the shot. Let's move this down here and do the exact same thing again. So less than 45 degrees. I'm going to aim for that chalk. I'm going to play it plain ball. And you can see I have hit here. Now if I play with right hand spin, I expect I'm going to be able to get it further across there. So it's going to do the opposite. So you can see I've almost potted it. So you can see it's done the opposite. I'm playing the same spin. When I was here, I ended up narrower. When I was here, I ended up wider. So please bear that in mind. If you're playing onto the cushion at less than 45 degrees, it'll widen. If it's 45 degrees or more, it will narrow. And to really exaggerate those angles, you could play bottom on the cue ball. So here we go again, plain ball. We're hitting this chalk here. If we put right hand spin on it, we're hitting this chalk. And if we put bottom right hand spin on it, we're hitting way down there. So bottom can manipulate the angle a lot. I talk a lot about the importance of this grip and pull. If you grip it too tight, you end up playing shots like this. But if I play with a loose grip, I do this. Much better. What if you've got a tendency to grip the cue tight, especially when you're feeling under pressure? In that case, take your chalk, put it in your back 3 fingers, hold the cue, and you can't possibly grip it tight. Okay, a really quick, short couple of pieces of advice on keeping your tip well maintained. If you've got anything that you would like to add, any tips that you've got, then please pop them in the comments below. You could, for this, put a little bit of masking tape around your ferrule. I don't think it's necessary for what I'm about to do, but if you're worried about your ferrule getting scratched, then by all means do it. And I would absolutely always recommend this if you're going to change your tip. it just stops glue getting on your ferrule. So you'll notice I actually use quite a soft tip, and as you play many shots with it, it condenses, it squashes, and it overhangs your ferrule. Some people will tidy this up with a bit of sandpaper, but what you can do is if you get quite a wide pencil sharpener, you can actually put that on your tip and then just gently turn it. I'll turn it so you can see this. It actually takes some of the tip away. And there you go. It is now nice and flush with the ferrule. What you would do after that is just get a bit of fine sandpaper and put it back into a dome again. The other way that you could achieve the same result is just to get a bit of fine sandpaper. This is 320 grit, and cut it really thin like that. If you put it along your tip, make sure it's not touching the ferrule, and just do that. Keep doing that, keep rotating your tip, and you'll get it nice and smooth. Okay, just the last piece of advice on the ferrule this time. You'll notice I use a brass ferrule and it's quite dirty. You can clean that up really easily with steel wool, and that works on brass or titanium. So just get a bit of steel wool. It's not as abrasive as sandpaper, and you can just put it over. You can actually use it on your cue. My cue gets quite dirty as well, so you can actually just use it on your cue. It'll clean your cue up and the ferrule pretty quickly. Just up and down like that. You can see that the ferrule is starting to get shinier already. I actually don't like my ferrule really shiny. Some people do. I actually find it a bit off-putting. I like to be able to see my tip, so I won't do it too much, but you can see it is cleaning it up, and I can actually, don't know if the camera's picking up, but I can see the fibres kind of floating about, and the shaft of my cue is looking a lot cleaner now as well. And the last piece of advice, you can see the shaft is cleaner, the ferrule is a lot shinier, my tip is now flush, but it's lost a little bit of its shape, so we'll just use a bit of sandpaper just to get it back into a nice dome shape. This is 600 grit. What to do is just cut a small piece and curve it, so it's kind of curving around your tip. We're going to go in a downward motion, and all the time I'm going to keep twirling my cue like that. That means that you get a nice even result all over, and it's important to always go down the way. If you go up, then you'll tear the fibres. So just nice and soft, and you can see even with the 600 grit, I'm getting that dome already. Well, you might notice that it looks slightly uneven, like you get a bit of a flat bit on top while the edges are nice and curved. It's looking much better already, really quickly. But just to knock out that flat bit on the top, what I do is I angle my hand like that, and I go this way, and it just makes it a little bit more rounded on the top. You can see that there, it's nice and round already. A couple of little fibres up there, so I'll sort them out, but yep, there you go. Nice round tip. So my preferred practice routine is just to set the balls up, smash them up, and pot anything that I can see. But I know some people like particular routines to work on various aspects of their game, and also by completing a routine gives you a sense of achievement that you might not get from just smashing up the balls and potting them. So what I would say is, if you've got a routine, don't make it too hard. You want to be able to complete it so that you're feeling good going into a game. And also you want to get a proper feel for the table so that you're not spending most of your time setting the balls up rather than actually playing them. Now a great thing is actually the lineup. You can make the lineup almost as easy or as difficult as you want. For example, someone who's playing it for the first time can just try and pot anything that they see in any pocket. Let's pot the black ball there, run through, pot the yellow ball there, and then go down for this one. Just pot whatever you want, whatever you can see, and just go about it that way. If you want to make it more difficult, then what I sometimes do is I will place a cue ball on this side, and I will try and pot them in order. So I'll go all the way down like that to add a little bit more complexity to it. Sometimes I will play that, but I'll also play to pot everything in that side of the table. That means that I'm working on my stun and screw shots. You could play to pot alternate pockets, and then you're playing more with your topspin. So really, the lineup is brilliant because it can be tailored in almost any way to work on any aspect of your game. 2 tips for the price of 1 here on how to break with more power. First of all, don't put your chin down on the cue. It's going to stop a lot of the force so you can get behind it. Line yourself up, keep your chin above the cue. You're going to be able to get much more power, much more movement into that. And the second tip is bring your bridge hand further back than you normally would. So if you normally play from here, you can't get as much power than if you bring it back onto the cushion and play it from here. I prefer the cup break anyway. If you've got a shot where you've got an awkward bridge like this, I just want to look at how far away from the cue ball you are. That's quite difficult to aim from. What you can do is you can actually use this and place your hand on top of the bridge, gets you much closer and makes the shot a lot easier. It's important to keep your balls clean. Get your mind out of the gutter. I'm talking about pool balls. If they're clean, they actually react a lot better to spin and everything like that, so they're more fun to play with. And there's nothing worse than actually seeing a dirty mark on a pool ball like that. It's quite off-putting. Now, I have got a bottle of Aramith ball cleaner, and I was going to bring it on this video, but I can't find it. I don't know where it is, and that's because it's rubbish, and I never use it. I don't even know where I've put it. I think it cost £10–15 or something, and I didn't feel like it cleaned the balls any better than the way that I normally do them. So a quick tip for you here, don't waste your money on ball cleaner. Just get microfiber cloth. And what I do is, I've got a spray bottle that's got a little bit of washing up liquid and soap, and all I would do is spray the cloth, clean the ball, and I actually use this for the side of my table too. You know, I will clean the side of it, and every so often I also use it to spray the whole table and just give it a little bit of a wipe. I don't soak it. It's important to have the spray bottle because then it's just putting a very light touch on it just to clean up any of those scuff marks, and then iron it afterwards, and it'll take out all the moisture out of that cloth. And it makes your balls smell nice. Okay, a nice little easy tip to remember here. However far you draw the cue back on your last backswing, you should push the cue through by about the same distance. A lot of beginners, when they play, they seem to hit the cue ball and kind of stop. That creates a jabbing effect. But you want to push the cue through as much as you draw it back. So if we're playing a soft shot and we're drawing back to about here, we want to push it through about the same distance, and we'll get some screwback. Now, if we play it much harder and we're drawing further back, so if we're drawing it back to here, see how much I follow through there? Okay, a quick one on how to practice playing with side spin. As most of you will know, when you put side spin on the cue ball, it will push it off its natural path, meaning you've no idea where to aim to pot that ball, and it's probably why 87.63% of all pool players give up playing with side spin. I've actually done a video on this. It's right here. Check out the full video if you want. But take one shot, play it over and over and over, because then you're learning that one shot, how much the cue ball is being thrown off. So we'll play this. We'll play top left-hand spin, do it like that. If we miss that, line it up again and adjust accordingly. Now, because you're playing the one shot, you're learning that angle. There's no point in playing that shot and then trying another shot from down here, because it's going to throw off differently. You're not going to retain that information. So the best way to learn it quickly is to play one shot over and over again. Once you're comfortable with that shot, create another one. For example, let's put it on the other side. We're now going to play with top right-hand side, and we'll work out where we need to hit it to put the ball. Always, always, always to play with side spin when you've got a shot down the cushion. With this one, I'm going to put right-hand spin on it. If I was over that side of the table, I would put left-hand spin on it. If I put that spin on it, it makes the shot easier to pot.
Did you know, in Scotland, everyone breaks from over there? And there's a really good reason for it. Because if we break from here, like most people, then there's something really strange that happens. And to find out exactly what that is, then please check out this video right now.